Yes, a very good evening to you tuned into UBC TV. Welcome to News Tonight, this Thursday, the 15th of September, 2022. My name is Michael Jordan Lukoma. Elizabeth Nakakoni joins us for sign language interpretation. In a first story this evening, President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni has re-echoed the danger associated with land fragmentation, saying it's part of the hindrances to prosperity of the Ugandan people. According to His Excellency the President, the culture of subdividing land for children, especially when the owner dies, cannot support commercial agriculture, which is the backbone of Uganda's economy, as children will resort to selling off the land instead of collective investment. The President was speaking shortly after handing over certificates of customary land ownership to 1,537 families and communities in the northern part of Uganda, West Nile and Karamoja at a ceremony that took place at Ibuje Primary School in Apache district. According to President Museveni, both the colonial times and after independence, customary ownership was recognized and well known traditionally, and it would be known by everybody on who owns the land, although some was owned communally, especially in cattle grazing areas. The President said it will be easy for people with big land to do intensive and extensive agriculture, which wouldn't be possible if the land is fragmented to 4 acres and less. He encouraged families to instead keep the land together and give shares to children. According to the Ministry of Lands, Housing and Urban Development, the certificates being issued are mandated by law and recognized by government institutions, financial institutions and courts of law, and the mapping of parcels has used both traditional and scientific methods of demarcation. The National Resistance Movement government, under the current manifesto, pledged to process and give landowners legal documentation in terms of land titles, and this is the basis for processing 4,006 customary land titles for families in Greater Northern Uganda. According to the Ministry of Lands, Housing and Urban Development, more customary land titles are to be processed by the government, targeting the registration of 275,000 families, 630 clans and indigenous and vulnerable communities within the next 2 years. The President congratulated the people of Lango for taking palm oil growing seriously, joining those of Kalangala, Rakai, Bundibujo, Mayuge, saying they are going to help Uganda solve the problem of lack of soap. The President also hinted on irrigation, saying that government has a plan to introduce irrigation in the whole country and protect all the swamps as water catchment areas. Apache now joins Kasese, Noya, Pader, Ajumani, Soroti, Katakwi, Butaleja, Kabale, Kisoro, Mbale, Dokolo and Amolata districts in helping landowners benefit from land registration using modern and scientific methods of securing their customary land rights and being able to prove their land ownership claims. The 1995 Constitution of the Republic of Uganda provides, under Article 237, Clause 1 and 3, that land in Uganda belongs to the citizens of Uganda and shall be held under 4 tenure systems, which include customary, freehold, milo, and leasehold tenure systems. The Constitution further provides under Article 237, Clause 4A, that all Ugandan citizens owning land under customary tenure may acquire a certificate of ownership in a manner prescribed by Parliament. This manner was prescribed by Parliament in 1998 under the Land Act, and the procedures for implementation were laid down in the 2004 land regulations.
In a very clever way, the property of the parent remains. It earns, you remove the expenditure, you share the profit, and you do your own things. This property can produce more properties. In some of the countries, like United States and even Europe, I think they have legislated. You are not allowed to divide land. Here, I am really appealing to Ugandans that when we are making wills to our children, let's do what other people in advanced countries learned long ago. You can ask your guest there, the young lady from Denmark, how they handle inheritance in Europe. You can ask them quietly. You don't have to ask them here.
Okay.
But I can tell you that in Europe, they have handled it. They saw that long ago and handled it in their different ways. I think in UK, only one child inherits. If I've got 1,000 acres, I get 800 million. So it's not true that tobacco doesn't have money, or that maize doesn't have money, or that cotton does not have money. It has money provided you do it on a big scale. So we are going to encourage everywhere in Uganda to take land, preserve the wetlands, don't interfere with the wetlands, and take water from the wetland to the land.
President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni met and held discussions with coffee stakeholders at State House in Tebe this afternoon. The stakeholders included coffee farmers, traders and processors. In giving guidance to the stakeholders, the president said that Uganda should never sell its raw materials without adding value in them, adding that when you sell raw materials, you donate jobs to other countries. Government has been striving since 1986 to build an economy which is independent, integrated and self-sufficient. He appealed to coffee stakeholders to join this government effort. Mr. Museveni gave reference to products like milk, textile, which they have succeeded in fully adding value to the last product. He was happy to meet with the coffee stakeholders to discuss how they can add value to Ugandan coffee. In their presentation by the coordinator, Robert Kabushenga, coffee farmers, traders and processors want government to support them through building a factory that will help to add value onto coffee. Kabushenga said that the group is fully in support of the president's vision on coffee. The director, Uganda Vinci Coffee Company, Ahmed Sultan, assured stakeholders of their company's full support. They agreed that stakeholders meet and come up with proposals to government, and the meeting was attended to by the Minister for Finance, Honorable Matia Kasaija, and the Attorney General, Chiriowa Chiwanuka. Number 2. Government is yet to work on modalities to ensure that coffee nursery bed operators supply their mature seedlings to farmers on credit as they wait for their payment from government. In a statement presented to Parliament by State Minister for Fisheries, Helen Ador, the Office of the Vice President and Prime Minister are yet to take action as per the presidential directive. The statement was in response to earlier petitions by the Devoted Farmers Association on delayed disbursement of funds for distribution of coffee seedlings to farmers that has caused them losses over 500 billion shillings. We have details to this.
Of our farmers. The seasons are getting done.
Since 2015, government through Uganda Coffee Development Authority has been supporting farmers by procuring seedlings for them from nursery bed operators. However, this initiative was temporarily halted following the launch of the parish development model. The intention, according to government, was to allow farmers procure seedlings using their loans acquired through the PDM circle.
Along the policy shift, from then the distribution of inputs to the farmers who now are acquiring inputs on their own with the support of loans obtained from parish-based circles. According to Devoted Farmers Initiative, the revision of the seedlings procurement process not only affected them, but also affected farmers whose planting schedules have been altered.
And the nursery operators have already invested a lot of money in raising the seedlings. This was very abrupt because UCDA never informed us that they are not buying the seedlings this season to give to the farmers.
This compelled them to petition Parliament requesting government to allow them distribute their overgrown seedlings on credit, since the changes were done without consulting them.
Especially the communication by UCDA, where they need them to only use coffee cuttings.
In the statement presented to Parliament on the government's position, Minister for Fisheries Helena Doa told Parliament that the directive of the President is being implemented at the office of the Vice President and that of the Prime Minister.
The President directed the Vice President and the right Prime Minister to work out modalities through which nursery operators could supply the available seeds to the farmers, and then government pays for these seedlings at a later time.
The President's directive was to first streamline modalities before allowing the nursery bed operators to distribute their overgrown seedlings on credit as they wait for their payment.
Vice President and the Right Honorable Prime Minister are underway. Look at the modalities that these seedling operators will supply on credit, and then
come back and tell us whether you have allowed farmers to pick seedlings or not.
This, in anticipation, will save them a loss of over 500 billion from overgrown seedlings and accumulated bank loans acquired as capital for the establishment of nursery beds. Susan Naung and Gloria Guitabinji reporting for UBC TV.
Members of Parliament have condemned the motion moved by the European Union Parliament to block the construction of Uganda's oil pipeline on allegations of environmental and human rights abuses. The MPs described the motion as unfair, saying that Uganda is a sovereign country whose independence should not be undermined. The condemnation was after the Deputy Speaker of Parliament, Thomas Taiyewa, communicated to the House about the decision by the European Parliament.
According to the Deputy Speaker of Parliament, Thomas Taiyewa, the European Parliament sat earlier this year to debate the oil pipeline for Uganda's crude oil that is to be constructed from Uganda to Tanzania. The EU Parliament resolved that the 1,445-kilometer crude oil pipeline should be blocked from being constructed over environmental concerns and human rights violations by Uganda. The motion further recommends the EU members not to provide any diplomatic or financial support to the project. During the Thursday sitting, the Deputy Speaker of Parliament, Thomas Taiyewa, condemned the move by the EU Parliament, terming it the highest form of economic racism against Uganda and Africa at large.
Because these are projects which were approved by the Parliament of Uganda, the Parliament of a sovereign country, and anything to do with challenging their approval, including some which are embedded in laws that were passed by this House, is an affront to the independence of this House, and we cannot take it lying low. I condemn this motion and resolution that was passed, which calls on Uganda and Tanzania to stop the development of the oil and gas project in the East African region.
The Deputy Speaker urged the EU Parliament to withdraw the motion.
It is prudent to say that Uganda's oil projects will exacerbate climate change. Yet it is a fact that the EU bloc, with only 10% of the world's population, is responsible for 20% of global emissions. And Africa, with 20% of the world's population, is only responsible for 3% of global emissions. The European Union and other Western countries are historically responsible for climate change. Not Africa, not Uganda, not East Africa.
The Deputy Speaker was backed by various members of Parliament from different political parties, but this time speaking the same language of urging the EU MPs to respect Uganda's sovereignty as a state.
Mr. Speaker, Uganda is not part of the European Parliament. Uganda is part of IALA. We have our East African Parliament.
I want first of all to express my dismay that another parliament somewhere can rise up to take a decision on behalf of a parliament which is seated in the right place. I thought this was the right parliament because these are the right issues for us to discuss. Right, Honorable Speaker, there are two issues that those people can do. One, come and help us to deal with the issues that you feel we have not dealt with in terms of managing the environment.
Others termed the move as a neo-colonial issue that Ugandan parliament should resist.
There is actually totally nothing to fear when it comes to environmental issues. But we know very well historically that several cities of Europe are built on the blood and sweat of the African people. This is our time also to elevate ourselves from the neo-colonialism status that we are left in. Nobody should touch the oil project because we are talking about an investment of over $20 billion. No one in this parliament and outside should entertain any discussion that frustrates the extraction of our oil and gas.
The State Minister for Regional Affairs, John Mulumba, pledged to take the matter to the Cabinet for further management.
Speaker, I'll beg for your indulgence to escalate the same to us as Minister of Foreign Affairs and guided by the principles and purposes which are enshrined in the United Nations Charter on Equality of Sovereign States for maintenance of international relations, peace and security. We will study and be able to give a guided response.
Philip Aguta, UBC News, in Parliament.
The Equal Opportunities Commission has appealed to the Ministry of Finance to increase their budget allocation. The chairperson Equal Opportunities Commission, Hajat Safia Narule Juko, says that with a better budget, the operations that aim at ensuring equity and gender compliance will be enhanced. This was at a press conference at the Commission's head office in Bugolobi.
The Equal Opportunities Commission emerged fifth in the National Development Plan Assessment out of the 148 government institutions during the 2020-2021 budget allocation to government institutions and agencies.
The assessment of the plans and budgets of the sector, the different sectors of government as to their compliance with gender and equity planning and budgeting. I think as the solo agency, given this role, we have done it very well.
Chairperson Equal Opportunities Commission, Hajat Safia Narule Juko, attributes the success of their work on the diligence and competence of the Commission staff.
We are understaffed, but we always improvise. So we are using this opportunity to request the Minister of Finance to actually continue supporting us.
So when we make assessments of the national budgets with respect to the different development programs and the ministries, departments and agencies thereunder, we ensure that whatever is planned, whatever is appropriated, addresses the issues of these vulnerable categories of people.
However, the Commission management believes that with more sensitization of government departments and agencies on the emerging aspects of gender and equity duties, a lot more can be achieved.
We are planning now to take a proactive approach, working with the different agencies, sharing with them the priorities of the vulnerable persons and actually making sure that during their plans and budgets, they include these issues.
So during the assessment, we look at how different ministries are addressing the needs of women, how they are addressing the needs of older persons, how they are addressing the needs of persons with disabilities.
One of the functions of the Equal Opportunities Commission is to receive, investigate and as far as possible conciliate allegations of discrimination. The Commission therefore has a legal right to investigate a complaint if the subject matter of the complaint falls within the purview of its mandate and act. Mary Namkose, Nantango Rebecca, UBC News.
Government has been tasked to tighten legislation to regulate the access and use of nudity and pornography. Sheikh Mohammed Ali Waiswa, the bearer of this argument, says that free access and use of nudity, pornographic content has and continues to fuel the spread of sexually transmitted diseases such as HIV and AIDS. This was during the rollout of the National HIV/AIDS Action Plan for Faith Sector, a tool envisaged to, among others, propel efforts geared at reducing the spread of HIV in Uganda.
Since the emergence of the HIV and AIDS scourge in the 1980s, Uganda has been championing efforts aimed at reducing or even stopping its spread. Faith-based organizations are some of the key partners credited for offering collaborative efforts in the struggle.
Religious leaders here, we know that the fight started from you, and you led the first home care centers and hospitals in the country.
We acknowledge the importance of engaging faith leaders and communities, so we have allocated core funding to support activities with evidence for success in increasing case finding, linkage and continuity of services.
To further heighten the advocacy, a national HIV and AIDS action plan for the faith sector in Uganda has been rolled out.
It's time for us to use our platforms, to use our goodwill. We follow you a lot. We listen to you. Every Sunday when I go to church, I sit on those pews, and whatever the preacher says, I take it down with a lot of seriousness. And I know that's what the rest of the community does. So today we are charging you and saying, this is an action plan that we can support, that you can utilize to roll out.
At the event, the second Deputy Mufut, Sheikh Muhammad Ali Waiswa, singled out poverty, unemployment, coupled with changing trends like long-distance relationships as key drivers of extramarital affairs.
Because each one really keeps on trusting the other, but ideally no one knows what transpires in the midst. I don't know what can be done. I think part of this meeting should find out how we can be able to assist such people. But in the whole, we call upon them to always test before they meet up again, because possibly that may help them to reduce the infections.
Sheikh Muhammad Waiswa also registered with concern the unregulated nudity and pornographic content, blaming it for fanning moral decadency, a catalyst for the spread of HIV and AIDS. It is against this backdrop that the meeting called for a regulation as well as heightened collaborative efforts in the fight to check the spread of HIV and AIDS.
There is no law that combats them in our country. That's why you find them elsewhere. You see the vivandas, on Vilanda, you find these nude pictures, and therefore we call upon the government to strengthen the approach towards this and not to be permissive. Acts like the nyege, I think the kind of things that are going to drive us further into the infections of HIV/AIDS.
According to statistics, Uganda recorded a 61% decline in the AIDS-related deaths from 56,000 in 2010 to 22,000 in 2020. And with the rollout of the National HIV and AIDS Action Plan for the faith sector in Uganda, a drastic drop in these statistics is visible. Dorcas Kimono, UBC News.
The Bishop of Namirembe Diocese, the Right Reverend Wilberforce Chitiol Walida, has expressed need for believers to renew their trust and confidence in Jesus Christ as they remember the life of Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II. While leading the special service of commemoration of the Queen at St. Paul Cathedral, Namirembe, the Right Reverend Chitiol Walida said that as they give thanks to God for her life, which is well lived, they need to celebrate the positives and leave the negatives to God.
The British High Commission, the British community in Uganda, political leaders, members of opposition political parties and the Buganda Kingdom have gathered at St. Paul Cathedral Namirembe to attend the special service of commemoration for Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II. The fallen Queen breathed her last Thursday last week, and a number of activities have been held for Her Majesty's decent and befitting send-off. The first and second readings were followed by the activity of laying of the wreath in front of the picture of Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth that had been displayed for the congregation to eulogize.
This day to remember before God the late Sovereign Lady Queen Elizabeth, to renew our trust and confidence in Christ, and to pray that together we may be one in Him, through whom we offer our prayers and praises to the Father.
The British High Commissioner to Uganda, His Excellency Kate Aire, said the world can draw comfort in Her late Majesty's dedicated service, emphasizing that her death will give Uganda and England opportunity to reflect on their relationship as they continue to bond together.
It's this unity that brings us here today, whether we are from the UK or Uganda or elsewhere in the world, whether we are Christian, Muslim, Hindu or other faiths. We can all draw comfort and encouragement from Her Majesty's unstinting and devoted service.
The Minister for Foreign Affairs, General Haj Abubakar Jejo Dong, said Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II was so inspiring and leaves a lot to aspire for.
Though Her Majesty has passed on, she continues to live amongst us by virtue of what she stood for and by virtue of the acts she performed. She leaves us with a legacy to aspire to.
The Speaker of the Buganda Lukiiko, Patrick Luwaga, said despite the challenges the late Queen encountered during her 70-year reign, she fully embraced responsibility as a leader.
Elizabeth's duties, she was faced with challenges many times, and her reaction to them clearly indicated that she fully appreciated that responsibility. That responsibility required leaders to find solutions to those challenges, as opposed to being held back by them or even lamenting about them. As such, the Queen gave the world lessons of leadership, call of duty, commitment, personal sacrifice, and courage.
The late Queen Elizabeth II visited Uganda in 2007 during the Commonwealth Heads of State meeting, and she will be remembered for the consistency in defending the Anglican way of life. I'm Nafka Farida and Stephen Kalisia at Namirembe.
Justice Center for Children has launched a Judiciary Child Care Center at Fort Portal Court to protect the rights of children. The center seeks to provide safe space for both children and breastfeeding mothers attaining judicial services.
According to the senior resident judge at Fort Portal Court, children have been fearful to testify in courts due to lack of safe spaces.
The problem is that some of them have had a big challenge face to face the perpetrators of these crimes. If you put the perpetrator of the crime there and the child here, sometimes it is not easy for them to come out and open up on what happened. But now, in that kind of environment where they are not seeing this person very closely, they will be able to open up and give their evidence better.
Due to intimidation, gathering of evidence on juvenile-related cases has been a challenge.
When they are committing these offenses on them, most of them are threatened never to say anything. So now at the time when they face this perpetrator and they remember the threats that were given, they will not be able to open up, and we have had those challenges.
With child care centers in place, children privacy will be maintained.
In most cases,
you might find that many cases have been lost in that way because the child fears giving evidence. That's why such initiatives have been made, such investments have been made to be sure to be able to get the necessary information that is needed from a child for the dispensation of justice.
The center caters for space for children witnesses under 18 years testifying in court through audio-visual system, space for breastfeeding witnesses and judicial officers, a playing corner and reading space for juveniles.
With this center, the child will be free, will not see the offender face to face, but will be able to give information that will be necessary for the dispensation of justice.
There are those who have witnessed crime, they will be able to come and testify. There are those who are victims of crime, they will be able to come and testify. But there are also those who have been charged as juveniles and we do not want to expose them.
Fort Portal is a fifth court where a child care center is implemented after Mbarara, Gulu, Mayuge and Bale. The Judiciary intends to establish 300 child care centers at all courts countrywide.
Ni MTN Kabode Super as you pay mpola for this smartphone. Make calls, update your WhatsApp status, watch YouTube, and Google anything under the sun with 2 GB worth of data every month for 7 months. Simply make a small deposit of 99k and pay the balance mpola. You can pay in daily, weekly, or even monthly installments while you enjoy your new phone. So what are you doing today? Visit any MTN shop near you and get the MTN Kabode Super easy.
Oh, Susan, I want to propose to Rose. Yes, and this time I am serious.
Have you guys had sex?
Duh, of course.
And have you had sex without using condoms?
Hey, Nga, you're curious.
I'm more concerned. Are you having sex with other people?
Hey, hello, is this an interview or what?
No, just things you should think about. Do you know Rose's HIV status?
Okay, this is serious. Should I be worried?
It is actually serious. Do you know your HIV status?
I think I am safe. Many times we get into situations that put us at risk of HIV. However, the first step to ending HIV is getting tested and knowing your results.
It's Time Up HIV. Call 0800-211-046 or text 8080 toll-free for more information about how to prevent HIV.
This message is brought to you by Ministry of Health with support from USAID.
Do you need data collection services, data analysis and reporting, monitoring and evaluation systems? Then contact Mold Technologies, a professional research firm that has provided many organizations with timely research solutions for over 15 years. For more information, visit www.mt.co.ug or call us on 0704 913 399 or 0782 602 963. Visit our office in Kampala at Sayuni Complex in Tinda. Mood Technologies, your professional research firm.
Be alert. Do not share your Airtel Money PIN number with anyone. Airtel Uganda employees will never ask for your Airtel Money PIN number on call, SMS, or by email. All SIM card registrations, SIM card verifications, or SIM swaps are done at clearly branded Airtel shops and not on phone. To report any fraudulent activity, please call 100 immediately. The official calling number for Airtel promotions is 0200 100 100. Stay alert on Airtel Money. Instant, secure, borderless.
Forget last season. Forget the oohs and the ahs. Forget every moment that stole the show. Because the real show is here on GoTV. It's the new season. It's action-packed and it's going to be non-stop football. With over 1,000 games from more than 7 leagues and cup competitions plus a World Cup. Make sure you get the best seat in the house this new football season. Get a GoCoder with 1 month of GoTV value for only 25,000 Uganda shillings and enjoy non-stop football. GoTV Uganda. Love it.
At Timex Nutrition Center, we advise you on the right foods to eat
exercise profile to adopt and lifestyle strategies which are compatible to your blood group and genotype. This empowers your body to prevent and treat many diseases like diabetes, blood pressure, arthritis, ulcers, obesity, and many others. For more information, find us at our head office in Kampala on Nassa Road, Conrad Plaza, 2nd floor, or call 0758 819 952 or 0778 288 361. We also have other branches in Mbara and Jinja.
Meet Professor Petero. He knows something every hustler in UG is gonna love.
Oh, see. You see, I was just trying to get the documents to register for Airtel Money.
You don't need the documents. You just set it for register.
What's going on here?
He sells things from the shop, and behind my back, he gets the money and gives it to his girlfriends.
But just get Airtel Money Pay so that all money comes direct to your business wallet, and only you, the owner, have access to it.
Just dial *185 *10 hash, and now you are on. No waiting. Huh? This insanity is sweet. Give them also.
I only take Airtel Money Pay. It's easy and secure.
Yes, become a safer and more efficient cash-free business today. Easy.
No mixing your business money with your Kameza money. No, that's efficient.
Airtel Money. Instant, secure, borderless.
UBC News Tonight. Welcome back from the break. The Uganda Alcohol Policy Alliance has called upon government to enact a national alcohol law to curb the harmful effects of alcohol in the society and health in general. This was revealed during a press briefing on Heineken in Africa, a multinational unleashed in Kampala.
Of Uganda, guided by Ministry of Health, which knows all these gimmicks that the alcohol industry is playing, should take a bold step and give us the law. We have the policy. We have been to the local governments and they are saying us, this is a good document. It will not work because we need the law. So we are calling upon our members of parliament. You represent the masses. Go back to your people and find out from them. Right now at the local government level, local governments are struggling to ensure that they have bylaws in place. It's because we don't have a national law. And yet if we had a national law, that would really ease their work. So if they are fighting to have bylaws, meaning they need a national law, our policymakers save the nation.
I don't know if it's still going on, but Heineken was coming to schools to tell people not to drink beer. And it was branded information, so you had the name of the brewery on the information. So what happens when you tell people of 14, 15 years old that one shouldn't do something, people really want to do that. So according to researchers in the health industry, the health academics, for example, this is a way of making your company, your brand known to the public. And actually it's more of marketing than a real intention to stop people from taking alcohol.
State Minister for Health and Gender Duties Hanifa Kawoya Banjirana has appealed to medical practitioners across the country to embrace and implement medication safety so as to curb on medication-related harm to their patients. The Minister Kawoya communicated this during a commemoration of the World Patient Safety Day that was held at the Ministry of Health headquarters in Kampala.
According to the World Health Organization research, over 2.5 million people die annually worldwide as a result of medication errors through self-medication. The Ministry of Health through National Drug Authority has today commemorated the World Patient Safety Day in a function held at Ministry of Health headquarters, graced by the State Minister for Health and Gender Duties, Hanifa Kawoya Banjirana.
Site and the social media.
The World Patient Safety Day commemorations aim at creating awareness to both medical practitioners and patients so as to curb on self-medication errors.
And also the system where we work is not perfect. There are things we need to look into and make them available and get the work done properly. So we need to be mindful of making sure that patients we handle that come to us are safe.
During the commemoration, State Minister for Health Hanifa Kawoya appealed to medical practitioners to be cautious in medicine prescriptions towards the patients.
Where as health providers we can avoid causing more harm, and where we can avoid these harms to being inflicted on our patients. And medication safety standards, we have gone through them. They involve practices and errors such as incorrect dosage of drugs, infusion.
Dr. Heni Ndagije, Director Drug Safety from National Drug Authority, says the authorities were equipped with mechanisms to ensure medicine safety in the country.
Most of the medicines that are used in Uganda are imported into the country, and at different ports of entry we have screening gadgets to test them, but we also have a national drug quality control laboratory that ensures, that checks, that does a finer checking that they are of good quality.
Dr. Bayo Fatumbi from World Health Organization says there is need to create engagements in new areas about medication safety through government programs like the Parish Development Model.
I urge all stakeholders to fully commit to implementing the WHO Global Patient Safety Challenge, medication without harm, and to
Uganda has decided to celebrate it today under the theme Medical Safety. Rebecca Nantongo, Susan Nabugude, UBC News.
State Minister for Disability Affairs, Helen Asamo, has emphasized the need to officially operationalize sign language as it is provided in the Constitution. The call comes at a time when Uganda joins the rest of the world to commemorate the International Deaf Awareness Week from the 19th to the 23rd of September this year. In the same vein, the Executive Director, National Association of the Deaf, Robert Nkwangu, has appealed to the public to have positive attitude towards people with hearing impairment.
The State Minister for Disability Affairs, Helen Asamo, wants government to expedite the process of adopting sign language in public offices to ease communication of people with hearing impairment.
Our challenge is people have not yet adopted the language in offices, in public places. So whenever a deaf person comes, you find there is a barrier in communication. And that's what my ministry, and together with the deaf community, are trying now to advocate and see how do we include.
This call comes as the deaf community prepares to commemorate the International Deaf Awareness Week from 19th to 23rd September this year.
Music, dance and drama, airing out issues of concerns of deaf people will be played. Community health camps, especially around sexual and reproductive health, blood donation, and screening.
In the same vein, the Executive Director, Ugandan National Association of the Deaf, Robert Nkwangu, has appealed to the public to have positive attitude towards people with hearing impairment.
This is someone who is stupid, and this is something that we want to challenge in courts, because also they have an element of you are Kasiru, you cannot ably express yourself, you don't understand. So you call me Kasiru, I'm dumb, it's something derogative language, and I'm requesting the media and out there, please, deaf persons are not Kasiru.
According to UBC Statistics 2014, Uganda has 1.8 million people with hearing impairment. However, the Executive Director, Ugandan National Association of the Deaf, believes that the number is high since it is hard to identify them. Miriam Womcha, UBC News.
Officials from the Uganda Electricity Transmission Company Limited have scuffled with former State Minister for Economic Monitoring Henry Banyanzachi over compensation at the company's ongoing installation in Luzira. Banyanzachi resorted to blocking a public road while achieving his demands from the power transmission company.
The former Minister of State for Economic Monitoring, Henry Banyenzachi, has resorted to block a public road, accusing Uganda Electricity Transmission Company Limited of irregularities in the compensation process.
The ECTL bosses, they called him. The matter is not yet resolved. But because he has Manyanga he's covering, he comes very fast to come and start working. Stop doing that, Mark.
The project has been having challenges.
No, we shall have to agree. We will not work at Fuba.
Tomorrow we have to meet.
The meeting can go on, but let us continue. The tracks which were on the road. Forget you. Close your stupid nonsense computer where you have defrauded the government.
But do you have proof of that?
Yes.
Take it to the right authorities.
Yes, the IGG is investigating that matter.
The more we delay to complete the project, sooner or later the loan will lapse before the project ends, and that will be a cost on government as a result of this kind of arrangement.
Henry Banyenzachi is the proprietor for the struggling Miami Beach, which submerged in water due to a rise in water levels.
So when the water levels rose and affected the business, it is when he started approaching UETCL that rather than passing below his plot, why don't we pass in his plot? And remember, where we are passing, we had already compensated. So we could not compensate again for purposes of passing in another person's land.
The beach is near to UETCL power transmission project, and it demands compensation like other project affected persons.
Persons, I'm affected. Even where they are powering the soil is my land. Even where they are powering the soil is my land.
We've never considered him as a project affected person. And if he has any report from the chief government valuer as a project affected person, we would gladly appreciate it.
20 billion and they give the 4-3 thugs, mafias. Who are these mafias that are being protected in the government?
UETCL is accusing Henry Banyenzachi of forcing compensation like other project affected persons, yet he is not affected.
We are not passing through his property. We are actually passing through the neighbor's property. We are using a public road, or we are using a road, an existing road, to an existing property. The existing property has already been compensated.
No, what I mean to say, are you like feeling as an individual, or you have connived with those people?
Despite numerous engagements, these two parties have not reached a consensus, and the matter has been referred to police and the courts of law. Abdul Nasir Lukoma, UBC News.
UBC News tonight. Thank you so much for watching. Let's enjoy this short break. More is here to come.
Stay connected on the largest 4G network in Uganda using the Airtel 4G Pocket MiFi at only 75,000 Uganda shillings. It comes with 15 GBs free, valid for a month. You can connect up to 10 of your friends and family at a go. Visit the nearest Airtel shop to get one today or call 0800 333 330 for free delivery within Kampala. Dial *175 *9# to activate free 15 GBs. Airtel, the smartphone network.
Do you need data collection services, data analysis and reporting, monitoring and evaluation systems? Then contact Mold Technologies, a professional research firm that has provided many organizations with timely research solutions for over 15 years. For more information, visit www.mt.co.ug or call us on 0704 913 399 or 0782 602 963. Visit our office in Kampala at Sayuni Complex in Tinda. Mood Technologies, your professional research firm.
We sing
Jubilee celebrations, Kampala Diocese.
At Timex Nutrition Center, we advise you on the right foods to eat exercise profile to adopt and lifestyle strategies which are compatible to your blood group and genotype. This empowers your body to prevent and treat many diseases like diabetes, blood pressure, arthritis, ulcers, obesity, and many others. For more information, find us at our head office in Kampala on Nassa Road, Conrad Plaza, 2nd floor, or call 0758 819 952 or 0778 288 361. We also have other branches in Mbara and Jinja.
October Bidel Musaba Gardens Mukono, October Mukaga Millennium Gardens Sazibuaya, October Munanaji Montelembara, 10 October, 40 Poto Muchisawe, Abidim Bi October, Bale Sports Center, Umtualukumo, Yebem Tuale Santo, a meza million more, Wabla Tualukumia, Abana Gula tickets of Akosa M10 Momo, Banjagusa Sulan Comitano, Binamina Romo Center, Hiva Motors, Galaxy FM, Radio 4, Kawina War, TN. What's up for Balamo?
Cooking with electricity is now affordable. Cook your beans. Avoid smoke.
Sayaka. Cooking with electricity is now so affordable with the Fumba tariff set by the Electricity Regulatory Authority. With the Fumba tariff, you can now buy up to 70 units of Yaka at a reduced price of 412 Uganda shillings per unit after consuming your first 80 units of the month. For more information, contact the Electricity Regulatory Authority on 0200 506 000.
Business news tonight. Stakeholders in the sugar industry have raised concerns on the sustainability of the sugarcane outgrowers scheme. For enhanced sector governance and regulation, government is urged to revisit and expedite the 2010 National Sugar Policy and the Sugar Act of 2020. Top on the recommendations geared at sanitizing the sector by the Economic Policy Research Center is the constitution of the National Sugar Board.
In the last 2 decades, Uganda has made significant strides in sugarcane production and processing. This progress is closely linked to the liberalization of the subsector. Between 2005 and 2014, sugar processing mills increased from 4 to 12. Currently, there are 19 mills located in eastern, western, northern, and central regions of the country. However, the steady growth of the sugar industry has often been blamed for causing food insecurity and land fragmentation in the cane-growing areas.
That is not true. Instead, it has improved greatly the welfare of our farmers. Let's come up with bylaws not to allow people who do not have 2.5 hectares of land to grow cane. And of course, that one should be after removing land for the food.
They acknowledge their industry is facing numerous challenges that can be sorted out through government intervention and stakeholders empowerment, especially for the local farmers.
Government, please, let it be a policy that for someone to put up a sugarcane processing factory, you must explore the entire value chain.
The traders are known. Those who own mills are traders. For us, we are growers. Let us remain in the Ministry of Agriculture. Let there be a budgeting to support sugarcane, but also most importantly, let them support the formation of the National Association of Cane Farmers so that we go stronger.
This was at the 10th National Forum on Agriculture and Food Security held in Kampala. Organized by the Economic Policy Research Center and development partners, the event sought to revisit policy, institutional, regulatory arrangements in the country's sugarcane sector. The Makerere University-based think tank disseminated key findings on a recently conducted research and made recommendations on sector governance and regulation.
The country is growing. We are industrializing, and the new byproducts and products are coming from the industry, sugar, electricity. Now you realized how the country started developing self-sufficiency in the production of sanitizers. Those are new byproducts that are coming on the market and have really gained traction. We have electricity, then the molasses. Now, if the pricing is becoming a challenge, does the new reality or what the challenge that is, the pricing include those byproducts? Because we have industrialized and there is a market for those byproducts that is growing in the country.
About 29,000 farming households engage in cane production in Uganda, and these farmers employ an estimated 640,000 people. The outgrowers contribute approximately 198 billion shillings per annum to national income. Dennis Igoa for UBC Business.
Dealers in plastics have started nursing losses following the impact of the 40% tax levy on each kilogram of plastics and plastic pellets. Packed along Kiraka-Sangati Road, dealers in plastic pellets and granules in peaceful demonstrations have threatened to take further action if the 40% tax is not revised.
Parliament passed the Excise Duty Amendment Bill 2022, which levied a 40% tax on each kilogram of plastic and plastic pellets. The levy accordingly intended to streamline taxation of plastic products and use of plastics, but also gradually phase out the manufacture and usage of plastic in the country. However, the impacts of the levy have become visible, with dealers of plastic stranded with tons of plastic pellets and granules after recyclers halted their purchase. In a peaceful demonstration, dealers in plastic have asked government to revise its decision on the 40% tax levy.
Revenue has increased. UNBS has increased. Now, most of these investors, they are just stranded. They want at least to use these virgin materials.
Nino sasula looni ze mama ze tata tuyina okulya abaana tebasoma nakati bakyali waka ngenda balisa ki
abantu abali ekiteezo 1,400 abantu abakuŋŋaanya ebivera bino embala abantu 8 abantu abo bonna tugenda basaawa neddibiridde kati saawa zino n'ennyumba bagitwala buli wamu sirina wensula abaana bange kati basula ku nsiko tibasomye.
Their demonstration comes after the initial buyers of these plastics halted the purchase due to the high costs. It is not clear whether these recyclers and manufacturers are adjusting to the gradual closure of their plastic businesses.
Right now, these investors who are here, they have refused to buy our things. That's why you see that most of the vehicles are parked here. Some are from Mbale, from Vududa, from Sironko. Some are from Kampala here, some are from Ruweru. Now we are stranded.
Abana kutwala mwana kati factory kibagamba recycling ya Pepsi eliwa batukolera covid. Ne wama musebe. Webale tukusima naye etekano libatuve byatufera simayisailinga bino tugende tukoleki kati fa abawansi tunakola tutya
kye tusaba balema okubateekako omusolo omungi kubanga abantu bano batuwadde emirimu kye tulowooza nti n'owekitiibwa president yali alowooza nti recycling bw'enejja eneeyongera emirimu mu ggwanga kubanze kakati ndi musuubuzi naye nina abakozi abalala 30 abali emabega wange ate ne bannange era abasuubuzi abalala nabo balina abakozi be bakozesa mu buli muntu nga bw'asobola.
If President Museveni assents to this Excise Duty Amendment Bill 2022, several plastic manufacturing and recycling factories will face closure, and an estimated number of over 70,000 beneficiaries will likely lose their jobs.
Everywhere we go, where we always sell these things, they are not buying them.
Nonetheless, plastics can be harmful to the environment if not well managed. Susan Naung and Andrew Sebira reporting for UBC TV.
The royal family and the general public in the United Kingdom continue with different activities to mourn and pay respects to the late Queen Elizabeth II. The body continues to lie in state at Westminster Hall ahead of the state funeral on Monday. Important to note is the rather sensitive subject of the reunion of Prince Harry and William coming up at least expected moment of sadness in the royal family.
O God, the protector of all who trust in thee, without whom nothing is strong, nothing is holy, increase and multiply upon us thy mercy, that thou, being our ruler and guide, we may so pass through things temporal, that we finally lose not things eternal. Grant this, O Heavenly Father, for Jesus Christ's sake. Amen.
Unto God's gracious mercy and protection we commit you. The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face to shine upon you and be gracious unto you. The Lord lift up the light of his countenance upon you and give you peace. And the blessing of God Almighty, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit be among you and remain with you always. Amen.
Men's national cricket team, the Cricket Cranes, have defeated Botswana by 7 wickets to emerge victorious in their maiden group game in the ongoing Africa Cricket Association T20 Africa Cup Challenge. The Cricket Cranes were elected to bowl first, limiting Botswana to 103 runs against 8 wickets in the first innings. In the second innings, the Cranes did not hold, overtaking the score in the 18th over by 4 runs to make it 107 runs against 3 wickets. Senior debutant Alfesh Ramjani, who was pivotal during the bowling, making 4 wickets in 17 balls, well as Simon Sesazi and Rezat Ali contributed 37 and 36 runs respectively in batting. Uganda will play Mozambique in their next game slated for the 18th September 2022.
I thought the bowlers were very good this morning to restrict Botswana to 104. Maybe not so good in execution at the back end, but it's something we can keep working on. And I thought we showed calmness on not the easiest wicket to play on. It's still early season in South Africa, so very dry and a bit too paced, but I thought the guys showed a lot of maturity in the way they handled it. And we're looking forward to giving different opportunities to different players over the next couple of games and making sure that we start building that depth and experience for our squad. Very good debut by Alpesh, 2 debutants today. Alpesh picking up 4 wickets. I thought it was very good.
It feels good to be the part of this team. This team has a glory of winning the matches. For me, it was to contain the runs, and and that is how I got my wickets.
So much for watching UBC News Tonight. That is what we had for you at this particular segment. Let's get back to you at 10 p.m. with a bigger arrangement. My name is Michael Jordan Lukoma with Elizabeth Nakakuni and the whole team. Enjoy the rest of the programs. Let's catch you at 10 p.m. Bye-bye for now.